Okay.
All right, we are
Okay.
good to go.
Okay, good morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Central Mass Regional 911 District. Let's go around the table and get everybody's, for attendance purposes, Jim Ferrara, interim chair.
Peter Walker, board director.
Heather Butler, Butler head administrator. I still have to think.
Austin Seguin, Sutton Town Manager.
Maribel H. OCAM.
Michael Moriarty, Executive Director of Central Mass Regional 911.
Elizabeth Bosie, Deputy Director of Central Mass Regional 911.
Robin Grant, Sturbridge Town Administrator.
Anybody joining us remotely, Mike?
Yes.
Want to identify yourself?
Hi, Dr. Adam Menard. I'm the Assistant Town Manager in Oxford.
Anybody else?
That's the only
No?
person. yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, I'm Sean Fitzgerald. I'm the interim town administrator in Hubbardston, so welcome.
Thanks for hosting.
Thank you.
Okay. Does everybody have an opportunity to review the minutes? Any questions on the minutes from the last meeting? Is
Make a motion to approve.
there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right,
Aye. All opposed? You guys have it. Okay, election of board officers. So was there some nominations on the floor?
what are we looking for? Other than-
Reorganization.
Reorganization of the board due to
So chair, vice chair.
chair, vice chair, and secretary. Clerk's
I guess I'm
office.
gonna ask this question with the, I know it's on the agenda somewhere with the, in between, the new communities. Would that affect being one of the roles of like chair, vice chair for voting purposes, or no? I just wanna,
I don't believe so. I think
okay,
the roles themselves are just to
Okay.
maintain operations
wanted to
of
make
the
sure.
meeting and the agenda.
sure. Just because I know like in
The
some,
framework,
the
yeah.
framework in
Yep.
certain areas, there will be voted, they will not be
Correct.
voted, so I didn't know if that would affect.
I don't believe so. After reviewing the framework.
So no, I'll throw my name as the vice chair. Nobody's putting their name in, I'll put mine as the vice chair.
Any nominations for chair?
Do we have a second on the vice chair?
Oh, yeah.
I'll second his vice chair.
Do you want to take a vote on the vice chair? All those in favor for appointing Peter, vice chair? Aye. Aye. Unanimous? Do we have a motion for chair nomination?
Nominate Austin Siginowitz, chair.
Uh,
I honestly didn't talk to the head, so I don't know if he's willing to take it, but.
No, I'm not interested.
Doug, you want to say?
I mean, is the new member
Well, that's
part of?
That's what
part
I,
of
that's what I
Well,
asked.
that's-
I believe so, because it's not giving them any.
Well, yeah, but
Where's
you have to vote
Where's
on
the
things.
bylaw, the charter for the,
Well, so can I even nominate someone then? Is that?
I don't think you can.
Okay.
yeah, you
Because my
probably
thought
need
was to
to
have a
stick
new
with
enrollment
your
on the chair.
original 5.
I
Okay.
think it's the original.
Then I
five.
withdraw
think
that
so.
nomination. Okay.
There you go, congratulations.
Yes, that was-
You're the host community, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like you should be.
I
Back
tried
to you.
explain between an old and new.
I don't think because they would have to vote, that
The
it's
chair would
usually,
have to
they
vote.
would have
That's
to
true.
vote, yeah, that's why, That's why I
Heather,
thought
it
maybe
might be
going
helpful
over
for you to,
The framework should.
the
be-
framework
Shepherd's,
first, before making the
okay.
reorganization of the
Yep.
board.
Yeah.
The ones who have the
Yeah.
least amount of experience in all of this.
that's all right, you've got a great team.
Jim, Jim, are you not
Peter will help
interested
you.
in
He's,
chair?
I mean, and,
Oh, I presumed you didn't want to be. That's why.
I know that you were vice chair and then you've been Interim chair.
Yeah,
all along.
I mean, you don't want it?
It's awful weird. Things got weird. Yeah, I will accept the nomination, and it will, as the host community, the current host community, happy to do so.
Very good.
Great.
I would like to nominate, I'm sorry, what's your name?
We're off to a good
Heather
start. I'm Heather Butler.
Heather Butler as chair.
Second.
All in favor, all opposed?
Aye.
Mike, I
Perfect.
apologize. for the fee. We'll,
That's all right.
we'll
Don't
get
worry.
it done.
You guys got this.
We'll get through it.
We'll get it.
Now clerk/secretary.
Do we have nominations for clerk?
I'll nominate Maribel.
I'll second that nomination.
Sorry.
I've been in that. That's been my. I'm
All
okay
those
with
in
it.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Is
Thank
that it, Mike?
Yep, that is it.
Yeah, I apologize. I thought we were creating a new entity. So
Right.
That's why I thought one from each, the
No.
original and the new.
Sure. No, that makes sense for maybe once all the
Definitely.
communities come in,
Yep.
like a reorganization then as well.
That's 2 years out.
All right. So, we want to switch for Heather to, run the meeting?
Sure. Anybody have any nominations?
Yeah, hold on. I have something for you. This is what she needs, so.
Thank you.
There we go. We're on the side.
All right, next item on the agenda is discussion and vote on the transitional government framework. The framework is intended to clarify the voting authority, participation, and governance responsibilities during this transition period as additional communities join the district. Discussion.
So this was all part of that digital link that I sent out to everybody. So I did not receive any correspondence from anybody with any drafts or
couldn't open it.
edits.
I couldn't open it.
So Mike, can you talk us through a little bit what's in it? And I know obviously we had a pretty good discussion at the last meeting about it.
Yeah. Hold on, one second, let me just bring it up real quick. So I have the bullet points. Seconds. So ultimately, this is outlining the transition as we go through the next year to 2 years during this transition on where voting authority lies on the founding district board members and the newly joined district board members that are joining the 6 communities that we had in December. So it goes from the administrative side all the way down to operations throughout, and pretty much outlines what agencies should have the authority to vote on, mainly current operations, current negotiations with dispatchers or administration with current contracts, not including anything, no benefits because of the 6 towns came in. It's just strictly how we're operating right now. Operating procedures, policies, procedures currently of how we're doing things right now are intended to be the voting authority of the current board members, the founding board members per se. Anything new capital, new building, new policies and procedures, new administrative positions, anything like that is intended for all board members to vote, the founding and newly joined agencies. It's a quick breakdown. That document outlines everything from fiscal all the way down. So,
I know you have like that matrix.
yeah, the matrix.
It's a pretty good summary of the
So,
rest of it.
yeah, so current operations, staff and schedule and overtime would be the operating communities. Labor relations, union contract administration would be the operating communities. Operational budget, FY26 and FY27 operating budget. Operating communities, 5 dispatch policies, SOPs, quality assurance and procedures would again fall under the operating communities. Current technology system support and active services would again fall under operating communities. The items now that would fall under both the operating and transitioning communities would be future facilities, new regional building, capital finance, borrowing, bonding, as well as future staffing models, expansion, 12-hour shifts, technology expansion, CAD, radio growth, and then the regional growth strategy, long-term plan, it would be both. So that's pretty much the entire document.
Is this modeled after an existing document somewhere?
Nope, this was me putting together. This is the first time ever a regional center in Massachusetts has gone from a regional center to a regional hosted center to a district. Most all regional centers in Massachusetts are either a regional hosted or they begin as a district.
Right.
There's never been regional hosted transitioned over to a district. So this is all brand new to the state of Massachusetts.
And then
So-
at the same time, rapidly expanding.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah.
But if we looked like, if we looked at like, you were mentioning earlier, there's a district down on the South Shore that would be like a model that we would,
There's a model that we're looking at as how everything's gonna move forward.
Yeah.
But to get to that point, they started as a district. They did not start as a regional host. So we're trying to fill in the gap from being a regional hosted to a district, all the transition into that. Because these 6 communities are not in our center currently.
Yeah.
They signed on to join us, but we can't physically house them in the current facility that we have right now until we get into the new building. And then once their PSAPs are decommissioned, that's when state funding will be allowed to be given to us for them, and we can start working through the bigger project.
I'm sorry, I'm just the interim, so I might have some, so is there like a spreadsheet that shows like existing per community cost and the projected per community cost with the state financial assistance?
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
So
Yep.
everybody can kind of see there, here's your current cost and
Yep.
here's the future cost, and it's just gonna be so much
Yep.
more
That's
better.
all part of the presentation that was given to each select board when we went around to all these 6
Okay.
communities.
When did you do that?
It started months ago.
It was
Right.
before.
Yeah, it's probably almost a year ago.
Yes, these things take time. All right, that's great.
Actually started back when we had the meetings
It started
in
well
Bath.
before that. Started in 2017 technically with Margaret Nardowitz way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long project.
I think
It's
the only,
finally,
the only concern I have is, and obviously operational things, we certainly don't have any voice on. But anything, even in a current fiscal situation, if it's gonna have a long-term impact on the fiscal stability of the organization as it moves forward, we threw some numbers out to our boards based on projections. Obviously, they're not exact. But if there was some dramatic financial swing, and I'm not saying what happened, but if a labor contract went off the rails, we all know it's very hard to get that back. So you're going to negotiate a current contract. If that contract, for whatever reason, ends up really rich, you're never going to scale that back. And other communities are going to be impacted.
Well,
So-
how do they get approved? Like the collective bargaining agreements, this board?
This
Well, that's sort of my question on,
So,
you hit the
So
nature of
my
it.
guess is like, you should change that language from a board that's not elected by the general public to having it ratified by a majority of the membership boards, because politically, it's so easy to kind of load a CBA if you're outside of the public, spotlight. I don't know.
Well, also my concern is if you do, and again, if you do load a CBA, and I'm not saying it would happen, but you never know what happens in a negotiating table. And but the people who would be negotiating, are gonna, I'm presuming, be the current towns that are involved. So it's got some controls from that standpoint. And I'm not saying that the current towns have not negotiated good contracts, but there's going to be a lot of pressure coming from the union, knowing that they're going to be a much bigger body pretty soon. I think it changes the dynamic of those negotiations. And so while, yes, your current contract really isn't my business, it is my business, because the one after that, you're never clawing back whatever you give. So if it's management rights, if it's, if it's percentage increases, we're not getting those back. And so that's where, as much as that current contract isn't mine to worry about, on a very literal level, I do think it is ours to worry
Well, it
about.
is. It obviously
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah, the most
Whatever it gets, it's there, right?
never going
It's
away.
not going back.
Without giving something
I
big
haven't
up.
seen one go backwards in my lifetime,
Okay.
so.
So problem identified.
Yep.
What the existing 5 and the new 6, what do you think is a reasonable compromise?
How many of the new 6 do we have? Keep, just 3 present or including Zoom? Okay,
Yep, including Adam.
okay.
I have a suggestion. I know I have the contracts in front of me, and I know your contracts are there, you're looking for 3 years. But 3 years puts us past the 26 mark when the new people come on. Why can't we do 2-year contracts to get us to 26 for the dispatchers and ourselves amongst the 5 towns? And once we get to 26, we negotiate new 3-year contracts.
I think.
Once all the
yeah,
other towns.
I think to
are on
her
board.
point, I think in negotiations,
But that
we
would,
should- I think talking a little too much about this may get into,
Well, yeah, we need to be in.
yeah.
Well,
But I think,
It still doesn't
it
solve
doesn't solve the problem with
her
what goes into
concern.
this
What-
these
so
contracts now.
What about identifying a negotiation subcommittee where there are, say, 2 members from the original 5 and 1 member from the new 6?
That's,
And again, that's just a suggestion if we want more than 3, but I think 3 is a reasonable number.
Yeah.
To approach that. So if the 6 new communities determined amongst themselves which member, and then same with the original 5. I mean, I think that still puts the weight still on the original 5, but also speaks to your concern.
that would solve the problem. I
Mhm.
just think the new communities just need to have a voice at the
Sure.
table.
Mhm.
in a
Robin,
hearing.
I think you're highlighting, like, the first contract is so critical, because it sets the tone for every subsequent contract, so.
And not even in a negative way. I mean, the nature of labor relations have to be positive with the union as well. So
Absolutely.
it's.
But so goes one of these contracts. My guess is
Yep.
every other community is gonna get, it's gonna set a tone for whatever the COLA is, across the other contracts, and
is that your only concern with the framework is just?
That was my biggest concern with the framework. Yeah, because I'm presuming it's you listed capital and building will have input on, because we're all
So
together.
as far as
We need to get that committee today. We were supposed to, but then there was a lot of movement within the board itself, members leaving and members now elected into the chair position. So now we need to reorganize that committee today. That's part of the agenda. But they're ready.
So we shouldn't really talk anymore about contracts till unless we go into executive, or we can talk about it, we just can't discuss monetary
You
issues.
could discuss the committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the agenda moving forward. If we can just,
We'll get there in a couple of,
yeah.
All right,
couple of steps.
very good.
Any other modifications with the framework at all? So with that being said, if I add language pertaining to what Robin's asking,
Yeah,
union
2 members
CBAs,
be-
2 members and
2
one
members be selected from the original 5 committee members and
from the 6. With that,
Madam Chair, would that committee be subject to the open meeting law? Because I don't
It would
know.
be a subcommittee of the committee, so yes.
Is that's a majority of
Yeah.
the,
I'm not an open meeting law.
It is,
official, But I believe that that's how the subcommittee concept works, yes. So you'd have to post a meeting and then have your open meeting and go into executive for any negotiations, come back out and make it.
Gotcha.
I just wasn't sure if it wasn't a majority of the original board.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're probably right. I think if it's less, but we can look into that.
If it's a
Because
subcommittee.
if you don't have to post all of your,
It doesn't matter
negotiation
if it's a
sessions.
majority.
Yeah, no, it's
Ah,
I
It
mean,
just
at least-
adds an encumbrance that, makes you less nimble.
I'm part of the school committee, for example, and we're a committee of 15, and there's several subcommittees, and we always have to, the subcommittees are subject to open meeting law. You have to, post it and comply to the open meeting law. But something to look into just for clarification, but I do believe so.
And the framework, I'm sorry, just one question. Is the cost model broken out in the framework, or is this just a,
No,
Right.
this model is part of the district
It's the
agreement.
government.
gotcha, all right. I'll save that for,
It's based off population.
Correct, yeah.
yeah, the only thing I mentioned it earlier, before the meeting started. I've had some experience managing, dispatch, and I like the model that's based on population, a weighted model, population in calls for service. I know there are some small towns, some bigger towns, different populations, and just getting an understanding of how it all plays out in terms of your operating budget and capital. I think it adds more equity. And again, I think from a policy perspective, you can debate how to weight population and calls for service. It doesn't have to be 50-50, it could be 60-40, whatever it might be, but it gives you more insight into what's happening regionally and as populations shift and change.
Yeah, we looked into that, right, Mike?
Yeah,
There's a nearby regional center that.
I think it's because, like, for budgeting purpose, you're not gonna know what to budget for regularly, because you could be very slow one year and be at, let's just say, 400,000, but the next year you're very busy, it's 800,000. So budgeting purpose, it's not gonna stay. There's some of these towns drastically increase their call volumes, and then some years they're very slow.
Yeah,
I've seen
so
that all around.
So the
So
way we address that is we would, set the model for 3 years.
Yep.
Smooth it out and say, look, we're gonna average it over the course of 3, you can average it over 5. Just to kind of smooth out the budget issues and build some equity, because if you have a high demand community that has a lot of, let's say, housing for seniors, and it's where you get, 40% of your call volume. Is it equitable for, some communities that are really small and strapped, or just, there's just a better,
So we're getting off topic a little bit, right?
Sure.
So, perhaps we could add this to the next agenda to bring back and have a bigger discussion now that there's a few new faces here, including myself, and so perhaps just
Sure.
visiting that, but we'll put it on the next agenda.
Great.
Okay.
just through the chair. So with those modifications and just clarifying open meeting law, is everybody okay to vote on the framework with that language added? Is
So
that
we'll call for a motion?
And stand by, can we have this motion and discussion? Okay.
Motion to accept and
Second.
second. And further discussion.
I forgot what I was saying.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got off. Well, as long as the framework can be amended, I would like that in the framework, that we can amend at any time that we need to amend the framework.
Is there a provision, I could, or should we add a provision within the?
Is there a
framework?
provision in there now that we can amend the framework at any time
not in
or
it?
as needed?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so I think it should be in there.
Well, it says the framework will be reviewed annually.
Annually, but yeah,
Well,
No.
then you're held to do it once a year.
Yeah.
I guess you could amend that
Say
to
it,
just say
you know.
this framework.
By request or by board.
by request, yeah.
Yeah. By
Okay.
majority of the board.
Amended
Yeah.
by a majority vote of the board.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah, it has to be in there.
Sounds good.
I'll add those two provisions.
Thank you. I'm good.
Good suggestion. Any other comments or concerns? We're okay with, we have a roll call vote. Roll call vote, let's start with Austin.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
And then
So are the new,
just waiting for-
is the new,
are we-
is the new committee voting on that as well? They have voting rights on the framework?
Before we get to the online vote, I guess I'm assuming that the framework would be something that we would all vote on.
I think so. We're included in it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Definitely part of it.
Yeah. And I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Adam? Adam, are you a
I'll
yay?
abstain since I haven't read it, so.
All right, we have a governance framework.
Perfect.
That is amazing. See, our 5 minutes as chair and look all I've done.
You're doing a great job.
Okay, item number 6, the Harper payroll service contract. This is a contract that would provide the payroll processing and administrative payroll support system services for Central Mass. Does anybody not use Harper in their communities? You do not. You do not.
So through the chair. So currently, the regional dispatch center receives their payroll through Harper's currently right now. That's why we went and received a quote from them to maintain that, to bring overall historical data from all our dispatchers into the system. It's just easier if you're utilizing the same agency or company to have that data moved over.
Who manages your payroll?
Right now, the town of Rutland.
Uh,
That again is in,
who's gonna manage it when?
that's in the agenda moving forward, talking about a treasurer and accountant moving forward. But this is to authorize, ultimately looking for authorization from the board to sign this contract. Due to, it's gonna take from now
How much
until
is it?
July, 2,736 annually. It's gonna take the time from now till July to get the entire system set up and ready for July 1 for that switch over date. No
Budget is
cost, no
for-
cost will be
yeah.
incurred until July 1 of 26.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract.
Would we
Yeah.
consider this current technology?
Huh?
Would we consider this topic current? Where on the matrix do we
With the
feel that
matrix,
this
yeah.
falls? Is it
It's a
current?
contract.
Financial. Yeah,
Contract.
Contract.
Financial.
I mean, and it's the.
Yeah, Stefan, what's on here?
Looking for a contract. I don't, there's not a contract category. We have current authorization.
Financial decision.
Again, I'm just trying to find a specific line on the matrix. So current operations, labor operational budget. I guess it could fall into any of those categories.
Yeah.
Current operation.
Yeah, current operation would be
Okay, so the original.
the original.
So you made a motion, Jim?
Yes.
I'll
Roll
second it.
call, Madam.
Aye.
No, you're not.
Peter, you are.
Aye.
Aye. Christian.
That's me.
Yeah, that's,
Okay, Christine's just the interim.
Yeah,
I'm following.
He's the administrator.
I'm tracking. And Adam? Nope.
No, he's not.
Adam's not.
Nope.
And yourself. Okay. So my original success has now been tanked.
So are you voting for it or?
I am voting for it.
Okay, so
okay. Perfect.
All right, item number 7, the Vadar system service contract. Mike, you want to give us the details on this?
Yeah, again, pretty much in the same boat as Harper's is currently town of Rutland uses Vadar. And just the easiest way to transition everything historically from Rutland over to the district would be to utilize the same system. We received that quote Is it?
65,000, is that what I'm looking at?
No,
Oh, over 60.
it's over
Yeah.
6 years. I think year one is 30,000.
And is this the software
Seven.
for
Yeah.
the treasurer and accountant or
To utilize, yes.
for both,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may, Mike, so the the setup is 30,000, right? And then it goes to 7,000 in a fixed, for a fixed number for
Yep,
6 years, correct?
correct. Yep.
And
Because
so-
there's a large one-time fee.
Yeah, that's the initial
Transition,
setup.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have, the funds available for the initial setup, or did you get a grant for that, or?
That's in the FY 27 budget.
So it's all subject to appropriation.
Do you guys, are you guys eligible for best practices, through Community Compact?
Oh, that would be a good one. That's how we
That's a
did
good
ours.
question.
So I mean,
Good.
if you are, because I got a Community Compact when I put in Vadar and Warren, and the initiation fee was covered, not the subscription, but the initiation transition
Yep.
fee, which is 30,000 in your case, would be covered. And they come out usually, in the late summer, early fall.
Now, some of those programs have been paused. I think in the state 27 budget, they're bringing back one of the programs.
I was told that they're bringing them back all
Yeah.
of them, because
See if, I know the
there was a,
efficiency and
So you would
regionalization.
look up
Go
the.
on.
yeah, no, that was an error
So,
that was made at the State House.
grants.
But in the current budget, they didn't
Yeah.
fund it. Yeah,
That was an error.
which is
So-
too bad.
They're going to, I think they're gonna be putting it back.
I would look at the IT grant too, Mike.
Yeah.
Through the compact program.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's different
Ann
categories.
Goby said there was an error and that they're gonna be putting it back.
That's right on the
Oh, on our rural meeting, yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
I don't know if the state 911 grant would help this at all. I mean, you're starting a new,
Doesn't fall under their buckets.
But staffing does.
Yep.
Interesting.
Wages. Wages does.
they don't care how we account for it.
Right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'll look into those
This is
grant
like
opportunities.
the heavy
Pay for a bill,
Right.
but not
Yeah.
the start.
I will, I'll look into those grant opportunities. Like you said, those are in late summer, fall. I'll definitely look at that. We'll have to do,
So Mike,
maybe like a reimbursement at that point. We'll have to fund it from July 1 to utilize the system, but I'll apply for the grants, and if the grants are awarded, we'll just go back into the general fund.
We don't have the 30K available to fund it through what you have now.
Well, that's not in the current budget,
Right.
but it's built into the FY 27's budget.
Right.
That fee is built in there.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
in the long run, if the grant's awarded, we just get that 30,000 or, the 30,000 back into the general fund.
because those grants are usually, they provide the funds right up front.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
So note to self that anybody that gets the community compact application memo forwarded to Mike.
oh, yeah, and Sean Croden is the contact.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Because I've dealt with him
And you'll
for
need like,
different grants, actually had the municipal and an IT grant for our website, yep.
Okay, awesome.
that's the one that has the unique password that's unique to each community, so probably you'd have to use the Rutland.
Okay.
I will forfeit Rutland's community compact
Appreciate that.
for this.
Can I just ask one more question? Just so I'm clear, so both Harper's and Vadar, this is for July 1 start?
July 1 start, yes.
So you're signing it now, going through the work over the next few months to implement, to be ready for July 1.
Correct.
Rutland loves this. Okay, accept the motion to approve the data contract from the original 5.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Well, do we need a roll
No,
call if
because we're all here.
Right, so
Yep.
all in favor?
Aye.
The treasurer discussion, possible vote. This includes consideration of a treasurer appointment structure, bonding requirements, and the district's financial oversight needs. Do we want to take 8 and 9 together?
No,
No.
because I just think there's two separate discussions.
Okay. The treasurer, discussion on that.
I had expressed, well, not concerns, an opinion, I guess, right from the get-go, just when we started this discussion in regards of, would it be one of the existing treasurers from the current 5 communities? Would it be just a transitional period as we grow, and once the 6 additional and some possibly join those hours, right now could be 10 hours, right, with the 5, but once it grows more, it can possibly double. So I had expressed concerns in regards to one of our current, treasurers who is full-time. Where would that line divide? How do you then, say it's growing, but now you're employed? How do you draw that line? So I did have some concerns in that capacity. I don't know if maybe it would be wise to explore outside of the, any of the towns. In that way, there's no gray area. It also just, I feel like, makes it a little difficult when this is your employment here and this is your boss, but now you're in a completely different employment technically. And, there's that gray area where I feel like can easily be blurred, and just my thought.
Well, I can say that Rutland's treasurer wants nothing to do with it. So.
And I'm not saying he's not competent at all.
We're out. But to your point, if I guess, would that be appropriate to make it that a member community's treasurer is not eligible to apply for the position?
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
I
part-time
mean, they can
job.
apply.
We can't
It
deny
would
that
be
a
like a
part-time job.
posted job. I think it's just a matter of,
It's a separate entity. It's gonna be a separate entity, so
It would be secondary employment.
secondary, which has nothing to do with the current town.
The only thing they would have is if there's something in their agreement that says
Yeah.
they have.
Right,
to
as
So-
long as they're not
hire
working for the district
on the-
while on town time.
And that's why I think having
That's
it being
the
one of the
part.
town,
It is, but they gotta
Treasurers.
separate.
it's not officially a separate part-time job, but if we're paying 10 hours to a town to do it, it's going to blur. And I think even if you said, okay, well, we're gonna cut their salary that much, it opens all sorts of questions of then why were we paying them 40 hours all along if they can
Yeah.
give up 10 hours?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I could see as a town
so I
administrator.
guess you can just
if I
post
put
it,
something
and
back
whoever
to that.
applies then kind of then go through
Yeah.
those motions, right?
Right, and
You
if they
can't,
can do it after hours
I
on a
guess
weekend, that's it.
Yeah,
I guess it's up to the town administrator in that community to oversee whether or not that individual is adhering to the non-double dip.
Yeah, it'd be no different than if I had somebody who has a second job.
sure.
yeah, it's,
They're
I
not
don't
supposed to do it
consider
on
it
town
double
time.
dipping.
And
Yeah,
I had
it's
someone who
not
had a
double
real estate
dipping.
business was
That's-
doing it on.
It's a part-time job.
Well, no.
It's like
I
being
think
a
what
bartender
Heather's saying
now.
is not doing it while you're
Right.
in
You're
your
not,
other
you're
job.
not, cannot do it.
Yeah.
Because
You're not.
it's similar work, you'd have to, I think,
Right.
as a town administrator, be very clear that,
And not only to the employee, but even on the management side, going, hey, can you just look this really quick? I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the time that they're working.
they
So,
have to,
They have to be very punctual and cannot cross that line while they're on town,
both
town
sides, yeah.
time or doing town work on district.
I think you could spell it out in the employment contract.
Yeah.
And
and I know it blurs with cell phone, somebody texts you, you text back.
Yeah.
Takes
Sure.
10 seconds, we all know that happens.
Yeah.
But I think it's manageable, but I do think it's probably going to be better if the person who does get it is not. That being said, I would deny someone who's a treasurer.
Right,
And
and-
if we get a retiree who wanted to pick up 10 hours of work like that.
right. And then just the other concern is as the community expands, the district expands,
Might grow that job.
and it'll grow, it might grow. Yeah.
No, you're good. Did everybody get to see the 3 options that I presented?
Yes.
Yep.
So 1 being strictly part-time, 2, option 2, which is blurring those lines, I think. And I think
Yep.
everybody's on the page of not really going that route. And then option 3. Option 3, again, creates a new administrative position within the district. Supports the future growth. This position is built into our future growth plan as we decide to grow. And the basic treasurer functions were embedded under that job description, along with other requirements, HR, procurement, benefits, payroll. That was all built under that as a future. What I can say is this position could be applied for under the state 911 grant and fully funded for the first 3 years. So that would get us into possibly year one of the opening of the new center, as well as the 2 years. This will also provide myself and the deputy some administrative support during this transition process, as there is a lot going on, maintaining current operations, creating a whole new district, building procurement, along with other large capital projects that are going on, our Hexagon conversion,
Meeting with
Time
new
pursued.
staff and training and
hiring, all that stuff. So I don't know if the only thing that would not be covered by the grant with this position is just the benefit side of it. They'll pay for the wages side, but the benefits they don't cover. So health insurance and all that stuff would have to be funded.
Is the grant eligibility, is there criteria that the position has to be full-time?
No, it does not clearly state if it's full-time or part-time.
Do a 19-hour, not have. to pay
We would-
benefits.
we would like the full-time only because, like he said, we have 2 full-time jobs right now, building out the new 6-town district, for the 11-town district, plus the current operation.
I don't doubt that the work is there. I was just asking the question whether or not the grant criteria.
And we will be hiring for this position once you guys come in, no matter
Yeah,
what. So
that's 2 years away, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at. I mean, we need a stepping stone before we get to the other 6 towns.
We
So-
need help to get there, though. That's the problem.
Full-time, cheap.
yeah,
But you're gonna be.
There's a lot of moving
Full-time
parts.
job to do HR, treasurer, collector. I mean,
And we
you're
have to
gonna be
start that
looking
July
at a
1.
Pretty high pay.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
yeah, we have to start that July 1 because we're off town of Rutland's books.
Oh, right.
So that's why I was leaning more towards this position, because it can be fully funded by
Yeah,
the state
what kind
highway
of-
department.
Well, we can't talk money now. No, so
You can talk like budget.
operational,
What it would cost to pay for someone.
Yeah, you've got to manage your existing budget's 1.1.
1.8,
1.8.
1.7.
That's not a tiny amount of money to manage. I mean, and
Just
if we don't
reimbursements.
make changes, like you're gonna manage payroll. And is that your job or is that?
Ultimately, if it's not buried under the treasurer's position, yeah.
But there's no question you need a treasurer.
Yeah,
Right, right,
No,
no.
absolutely.
you need
Yeah.
somebody there that's gonna help.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I think statutorily,
Yeah.
it requires.
Right.
Um,
we
but yeah, a
start
lot of these,
with maybe,
but a lot of these things that are built into this position right now are going to fall on our plate come July 1.
And Mike, or through the chair, the current treasurer, how many hours does that person spend? On Rutland's, for
Dispatch.
dispatch?
I don't
their
think it's been-
employees.
I don't think it's been really
I don't think
tracked.
I could possibly track that. That's like saying how much time does our treasurer spend on the police department?
Right.
I mean, how come you not track it?
Well, right now, we're all.
they're all employees of the town.
They all fall into the one department.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really.
we're just.
Did anybody ever ask her how much time she spends on,
Yeah.
Or him on dispatch?
No.
Yeah, because they're not really tracking it on their end. They don't really.
This process is all part of it.
I mean, they're just doing payroll, benefits, health insurance,
And all the people are employees.
and all the people are.
Yeah.
But you're still preparing the initial payroll submission system.
Yep.
To
To the town, to the treasurer, yeah, yep.
Is it all prepared under one warrant or is it all prepared under a separate warrant for dispatch?
It's all one warrant. They're regular employees of the town of Rutland.
All the dispatchers, are your employees.
Yes.
Correct.
I can run through the essential functions of what this position, I don't know if anybody's looked at the job description that's in there as well, but I can run through the essential functions because so you can see when July 1 comes, what technically is going to be added to the plate of myself and the deputy.
That would be helpful, but I guess I just want a quick question on the grant.
Yep.
Eligibility, is that a sure thing, or is it something that we would still have to apply for? Is that a competitive grant?
Competitive,
It is,
but where we're sitting right now, we're in priority 1, so we get priority over all of the regional centers in Massachusetts. And there's only, I think,
Did you already
2
apply
others.
for it?
The deadline is in April,
And that would be for
July 1.
starting July 1?
Yeah. We would receive the funds.
So-
It's usually around June
what
25th.
was your timeline for recruitment? When would you want to post the position?
Sooner than later to see if we can actually fill the position. It has some strict requirements, so.
Can I, through the chair, so you're saying the grant will fund this for the first few years and then the burden of the funding falls completely on the
District.
district.
Yeah.
Was that, I mean, I just have to be careful because we presented numbers to our boards.
Yep.
Was that calculated in?
Yep.
Yes.
A full-time employee in that position at a full-time salary plus benefits?
Yep.
Okay, so it doesn't change what we
Yeah,
presented
yeah,
to our
one year.
boards.
Yeah.
But like for budgeting for
Okay.
the future month.
And that had all those chiefs, right?
Yeah.
The training
Yeah.
chief, all that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, so that's all built into the future model. We're just asking for it to be
I guess,
started sooner.
Yeah. So my issue is, say you don't get the grant. So the 5 towns got to come up with this money to pay that position. That's where I have an issue. Because we don't have any money.
I understand that.
So, I mean, I'd like to see numbers, figures. I mean, you got a district chief here. I don't see monetary, I mean, you're looking for somebody full-time. I mean, what are you talking for money?
Yeah, I can provide that to you at the,
We
I
cannot
can
take
send that
hits like that right now. We're lean. We've been lean for 10 years in this town. We are lean. That's why this whole thing started 3 or 4 years ago for transparency. And here we are. Now the 5 towns got to bear the brunt of hiring this guy till the other 11 come on in 2 years or other 6.
Well,
We
the-
can't absorb that.
I understand. And those
That's why,
items were mentioned during this entire process
yeah.
that,
But
Yes, there's
you
gonna be
say
some-
there's grants available, but where it's a competitive grant, you're not guaranteed to cover that with a competitive grant. That's what scares me when we
Yep.
discuss about hiring people. We don't know where the money's coming from. We haven't seen what we're paying this year. We get a bill yet? I don't even think we've gotten a bill yet for this upcoming year.
Oh, right, number
no,
for
because
Right.
there's no,
I understand that, but is that figured into this new bill?
Yeah.
For the chief?
everything's, so to show what it looks like, yes, but obviously it can be removed, but we need to show what it's going to be.
But my problem is.
I understand that if it
The
doesn't get
5
awarded,
towns are taking a hit for 2 years to benefit the 11 once it's together.
so,
That's a big hit, and I have an issue with that.
so I am going to be going to the state 911 director to ask for one-time increase to our support incentive grant to level fund what we are right now.
Nothing's guaranteed unless
Well,
you.
that one is
Until
guaranteed.
you get the check.
That one is guaranteed. So it's not a competitive grant. This is me
So
writing a
it's
justification
what
letter.
is it?
to
You said
him.
level 1 request or whatever?
No, this totally different grant.
So
This
this
is
is
support incentive grant.
support
So-
incentive,
That's what
which is
wages fall under.
employees.
Yep. So I'm going
What is it,
to,
a one-time thing, or
no, we get it every year. So
you get it every
that's
year?
what you see in the budget every year is that
After
580,000.
So you're looking for an increase of one time.
Yep.
So that one time will give you enough for 1 year to cover that
And then we
position.
have to go back the next year.
But we don't know if you're gonna get it.
Yes, we do.
You don't. You have it in writing that they'll guarantee you that.
Yes, so when I go to the director, they say, yes, here's your letter for your one-time increase.
Okay,
It's in the letter. We've done it for the town of Harbor Center for 3 years now.
yeah.
When you guys came to us regarding the increase to the budget, we've gone to the state 3 years
To cover that.
to cover that across the board. So that's happened.
Then we go
So-
inside.
So that's my plan moving forward after figuring out what all the true costs are gonna be to move to a district and getting totally off Rutland books and pulling all those
I have no
figures into
problem with
that
but
to offset that.
Mike, when would you,
I-
how early could you submit this letter and get the official confirmation that, yes, it's been approved for the one-time increase?
So those grants also have to be submitted.
Okay.
And that, the letter itself, I believe, is instantaneous.
I guess my question is, how quickly can you find out or?
As soon as I
submit-
have the figures, I need to know what all these costs are. So this is why a lot of these
So is there a way
decisions,
you can submit the figures on the high end clearly and see if
they're
it's,
gonna be looking for documentation.
Okay.
They request their full budget every year. They want to see the numbers. That's
Yeah.
where they
Sure.
make their justification. So a lot of these decisions, a lot of the items on the agenda today will define what some of these figures are going to be. Yes, there's still some outstanding. My contract, her contract, the dispatcher's contract. We still need to know those numbers to see what those increases are going to be to FY '27. Liability, insurance, health insurance, those are still outstanding. They're in the process. We're working with them, but we won't know what those initial numbers are until we,
But you could
Start going forward.
probably put a budget together that, you know,
I punched in numbers already.
throws a contingency in there and say, hey, look, here's generally, what we're looking at. Here are the ranges so that we can get some blood pressure medication for some of the local officials that are.
Yep.
You have.
Struggling.
blood pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, I do.
You
But the
haven't
thing
seen
is,
mine yet.
oh, sorry.
No, that's, if I could just, and I know this one's sort of not my business, but.
It is.
I
No, but
certainly hear your
suggestion
voice, because if I was sitting in your shoes, I'd be saying the
And
same
my
thing.
blood pressure is up, but
But I
it's
can
not
see-
maxed
But
out.
we don't want that to happen. We have EMS people around, but I don't.
I'm on meds.
I actually believe this is part of both because this is,
It does.
this is a future position. So
So just, my thought is, if you want to get moving on it, could you do it as a pending? So we don't have to wait. If he can within the next few weeks get an answer, can you say you would support it pending him getting that approval? When he gets that approval, and then if not, revisit a 10-hour
I would
person.
support it
so that we
100%
have time, and that
pending-
might Just keep it moving.
Pending supplemental money to cover that position. I have no issue with
Because you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, thank you. I have a concern with funding positions out for grants. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I think that's a
That's grant
bad practice. Because, once we establish somebody in that position, and I think we just had this discussion right before we started, it's tough to claw back that position and say, the grant is run out, now we have to lay you off. Well, we don't want to lay off Tom, he's done this, he's done that. It's a tough position to be in.
But-
And I think, if I may, and I think that, that needs to really have a hard look at that. I would support a part-time position to get us over that hump. I do have some concerns at 10 hours a week at $18,000 a year. I think that's maybe a little bit high, but I think that's warranted for another discussion. But I definitely think that, a part-time position just to get us over into that transitional period, I think would be something that we could at least go out there, solicit, see what type of candidates are out there, and see what the market will bring.
I'm gonna just chime in quickly. I share similar concerns about grant-funded positions. However, if this is a position that has been built into the model for in 3 years, when we're a larger region, including the 6 other communities, and that number is a known cost to not only the original 5, but to the 6 new, I don't see it as a grant-funded position.
Correct.
I see this as a position that we have acknowledged is a integral function of the district's operational success, right? I mean, we're talking HR, we are talking, and that's all the benefits and the administration thereof, and then the payroll, and then the management of the funds, and potentially grant reimbursement work, right? They're gonna have to track all of the special revenues. So it is a full-time position, and if, again, we've accepted that as a position that is part of the eventual full district model. If this just gets us there faster, and if we can make the motion that we acknowledge that should the grant not come through, that we then have to revisit and look at it as a part-time 19-hour position that is temporary to get us through. And that understandably means that all of those other tasks fall back on Mike and Liz. So that's my understanding of what we're talking about.
Or explore the other two options.
Or the other two options.
So-
right.
May I speak?
Yeah.
Madam Chair, so the administrative chief, you're still gonna need an accountant and a treasurer, correct?
No, just an accountant.
Just an
The
accountant.
support service chief is going to take care of the
So,
treasurer,
so the chief would be the treasurer,
HR, procurement.
HR, and cover
Repairs,
payroll
yes.
and all of that
Yep.
stuff, and your accountant would be the accountant. Okay.
Yep.
I just needed to
Yeah, yeah.
clarify that.
And that's how I see this. The grant is a bridge. So it's just like the safer grants for fire. If you don't plan on growing your department, you don't want a safer grant because you own them. Because you can't get rid of them once you have them.
Right.
Right.
But if you're planning on increasing your department, it's 2 free years on someone else's dime. I mean, that's kind of how I look at this.
If we're, and this is obviously a conversation that you had prior to that is a position that you're comfortable having as part of your district model. I don't see any con.
Madam Chair, if I may, who does procurement now?
I do.
And myself, yeah,
You-
myself.
I mean,
She's-
I'm the chief
she's the
procurement
chief
officer of
procurement,
the
but yeah.
town.
Okay,
Yeah.
for Rutland,
Yep.
it goes through them? You don't do that, Mike? No?
I do a lot of the work for it,
Oh,
but
okay.
ultimately, that's assigned authority. She is.
And how much time do you spend on procurement for the dispatch? Do you have an idea?
In the month and a half that I've been there, it's
So,
been pretty minimal.
yeah, if,
Most of the work has been talking about the regional transition.
But that's a good question coming up. You bring up a good point though, because there's going to be a lot of procurement coming up.
correct.
And Massachusetts building code
Oh, yeah.
procurement is hugely cumbersome. So whoever gets in that position has got to
Certified
have,
procurement.
or at least they're
has to be
experienced in it,
certified.
even if they're not certified.
You can be certified, but.
Because this was one of the,
Yeah.
this was one of the reasons we joined this group, was we started trying to go through the procurement process for our $7 million boondoggle. And I couldn't even get past the procurement process
Right.
because the consultants we were having say, well, we did it this way in such and such a town. I'm like, yeah, well, they did it illegally, and but they did it. Well, that's nice, but
Yeah,
some people
yeah.
go to jail too, you know? So I actually think procurement, and this is sort of on our end as the new people, procurement's gonna be a huge portion of this, and that's gonna, again, shouldn't be your dime. But if that's coming out of grant money, that is actually a good use of the grant money. If you're lobbying it, that you need that position to do the procurement for building
To the grant
projects.
application.
Thanks.
Yeah.
For me, look, I think it's extraordinary that the communities have come together and you're building, a much larger function for dispatch. It's critical, from its operational standpoint. Hello. Yeah, welcome. But you're in a point now, if you look at your current operating budget, you've got to build a transition budget. You've got to get from point A to point B, but in between here is going to be a little tricky. It sounds like you've got a great relationship with somebody that has a big bag of money. I want to meet that person, but if you can get a letter that can help smooth out the financial concerns that some of the municipal officials might have that, you know, look, that sounds like you're gonna be able to put a budget together that starts to look like a district. Right now, you're an embedded, you know, department of a municipality. I've actually managed that as a town manager, and I've had a regional dispatch, and, you know, we absorbed a lot of the costs, but you don't, like, you need a budget that has utility cost. You have to have the structure of an independent agency. And I think everybody needs to see it and get their minds around it. And the concerns about funding, you know, reoccurring positions with one-time revenue, that's a legitimate fear, paranoia, might say, for any municipal official. So, like, we've got to kind of figure out how the revenues are going to be dependable. And so the way I see it is you have your current budget, you have your interim budget. Hopefully they all look, the bottom line looks the same. You know, there may be some additional structure that you build in there, and then your independent agency budget, that I think that $4 million number, but it still looks like there needs to be a lot more detail there that would help, you know, really define the benefits here. With more shoulders, ultimately, you would think maybe it's going to be equal or a little bit less than the cost, but you're adding a lot, and it's hard to kind of get a sense of, like, are there going to be real efficiencies here financially, or are they just going to be operationally? I don't have insight into that. I've looked at a few of the documents. I'm relatively new, so I'm just throwing this out here academically, but I do think you gotta put numbers down into a spreadsheet and kind of help everybody get comfortable with it.
Just through the chair, just for the record, we do have Melanie Jackson from the town of Barry now online from the Fountain, and then Jeff Bridges from the town of Spencer joining us now.
So
I'm Sean Fitzgerald, the interim in Hubbardston. Welcome.
Welcome to you too.
Just want to make sure she just joined.
Can't
So,
wait to leave.
since we've had a lot of discussion, and you say this involves both groups,
Yeah.
can I make a motion that we support the position pending funding with an agreement we will revisit if state 911?
The treasurer's, we're talking about the treasurer's position, but option 3 of the 3 models that Mike provided to us, which would make it a full-time position that is responsible for procurement, HR, the treasurer work, I swear, what else am I forgetting? All the things.
Support services chief.
Grant monitoring.
Yeah.
It's budgeted in the future model.
I understand, and just my concern would be that the treasurer tracking things and a procurement officer buying things in the same body. That to me,
We do have a separate accounting position, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But the accountant isn't the procurement.
No,
Can't do that.
that's, as long as there's some check and balance, it's fine.
as long as the account position stays separate. Yeah. Because you can't have the treasurer and the accountant, sorry.
I'm halfway done.
But Ken, is that different for a dispatch?
Say that again.
Are the rules different for a district dispatch? I feel like someone had said something like that. Maybe I've got my information incorrect, but that they could, yeah, okay. I wouldn't think so.
Melanie has a question through the book.
Hi, Melanie. Good morning.
Good morning. It's not so much a question. I would prefer that the treasurer position just stay a treasurer position and not include the extras like procurement. That's just my opinion, so I wanted to throw it out there.
Madam Chair, if I may, you know, I think that this position may be warranted when everything is larger and all of the communities are fully functional, and, you know, probably deserves a good discussion at that point. You know, I was kind of surprised when I saw that this was being built out as a more of an administrative position. You know, I thought we were just looking for a part-time treasurer and accountant to get us in a transitional period. You know, I would support that. I just wouldn't support you know, this new created, you know, full-time administrative position at this time.
I guess just to that point, who do we anticipate handling the procurement for the new building purchase?
Well, you know,
I mean,
for something like that, I would think that you would, you know, some type of consultant
And how will that be funded?
through the state 911 grant.
The same grant that would fund this position?
But there's also going to be equipment
develop.
procurement.
Yeah, the big bag of cash.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of things other than just the building.
Yeah, no, I'm just making,
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
Building, equipment, staffing.
Madam Chair, see, for me, I would just love to see a budget. I think I think proposing positions in a budget, subject to appropriation with letters from agencies that would help you support, you know, the smoothing of a transition, because this is really, it's a really dynamic time. It's exciting, you know, for communities, but we got to get comfortable with some of the costs, and you've got to help us, you know, really see this surgically clear, because we have to present this to 5, you know, members of governing bodies and finance committees, and they need to know that, you know, we're going to be really careful, and we're doing something that is going to
And these
financially be.
these numbers have been shared.
I
They
was just gonna
are,
say, there is a budget.
there is budget. They have been shared.
Okay.
It's all the
Is
documentation.
that the I have the slide deck.
It's not in this one.
Okay.
In previous meetings, for over the last year, these figures have been shared with the 6 communities as well as the founding members here as well. So those figures have been there. The strategic goal that we have put in place has been shared with everybody.
Okay. I'll try to get my hands on it.
I can send you all the documentation to get you back up on
Great.
online.
We have a motion on the floor, but Jeff, you've got a question?
Yeah, so what's the dollar volume that the district's gonna have to take in and spend, right? So the treasury, right, they're gonna be taking money in. Is it 4 million? Is it 5 million initially?
I think we said it was in the ballpark of 1.8.
Okay, so it's relatively small number right now.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the original 5.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just from a personal, professional perspective, finding a part-time treasurer is tough.
Yeah.
Right? So full-time, 1.7 million is not enough for a full-time treasurer.
Right.
Right? So either you're gonna load up this job with something else to keep them occupied and keep them on staff and justify a salary that would be attractive and keep that person in the job. Or you're gonna, you're just gonna contract it with one of the towns to do the job. My preference would be create a job that's attractive, that can provide stability, that provides Mike some staff support, particularly on managing contracts and looking at money and all this other stuff, generating information. That's where I would go.
Absolutely.
And I think this goes back to the discussion that we started this about 45 minutes ago, where we talked about that we as a group had some general concerns about one of our existing treasurers trying to pick up a 10-hour part-time job or, you know, second job, and where and how those lines might be blurred. So this would certainly take that concern off the table in its entirety, because there isn't any of our treasurers that would be able to take on another full-time job. I mean, I can't imagine. Peter, I'm sorry, you had one more question?
No,
Okay.
I probably forgot it already.
All right.
My
Are you
mind's
ready
on-
to vote?
I wonder if our calendars set to a different time. Pretty.
Two of you came on.
And I'm sorry,
Can someone remind me of what the vote?
The motion.
So my
Yeah.
motion was
Tommy's motion.
that we approve option 3 pending grant funding for that. And if that grant funding does not occur, we will bring it back to the group for discussion.
grant funding or was it budget,
That
one-time.
one-time budget supplement, you said?
Why don't we say outside funding,
Outside funding.
non-town funding, non-municipal funding?
not a district operational cost.
Madam Chair, so this is a vote that the entire organization will take, or just the current members?
So I think looking at our matrix, I mean, it certainly has future implications. But I guess that,
But it's only for the gap.
what does everybody think?
I mean, this is current operations.
Right. I mean, me personally,
So do you want me to withdraw the motion and have someone else make it?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, well, that's up to the chair, but, I just want to put in a little input. I don't have a problem hiring this person, but, and this is currently going to be kind of a carryover to carry us till we get the other 6 towns on. And it should be like a 2-year deal, so
So this is not a carryover.
it's not
This is a position that is in the model. As soon as these 6 come
for all
over,
towns involved.
it'll still be there. We're
I
not getting rid of
understand that, but there's only 5 towns going
But
to
he
cover.
means in between until the 6 additional communities
Unless-
are actually active.
Unless we get grant funding to cover this position, the 5 towns are going to eat this
Well,
cost. for
that's what
this
the motion
employee.
is,
That's
that
what
if
the
you
motion
don't
is.
get that, we come
Okay.
back to this table.
Subject to
I'm good.
appropriation.
Yeah,
Subject to
subject,
funding.
yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes I got to remind myself of what's,
Wow.
got a lot going on.
I
in
would
my
do
brain
to you
right
what
now.
I would want done to me, so.
I'm trying to be fiscally responsible for the town
Yeah.
of Hubbardston, because we have $0.
No, you're absolutely right, though. You
Just
said-
like you,
said
just like
all
you,
this, yeah.
nobody has, we can't take a $50,000 hit. We
Yeah.
can't take a $30,000 hit in this town. So that's why I'm being very stern and very dotting i's and crossing t's. I need you to understand that. And if you don't, well, I don't care. But just,
But there should be, I just need to say this, a district model is not gonna be able to take advantage of washing some expenses through a town. You're gonna have to stand alone, much
Agreed.
like a utility,
right,
right?
right.
And I don't know if you're looking at indirect costs back to wherever you're hosting or anything like that, but there's gonna be an increase in cost.
I already know that.
Yeah.
I already know we're gonna take a little hit for a couple of years.
But not the
I
addition
can't
of
take a
full-time
60,
employee.
we cannot take a 60, 50, $40,000 hit all at once. We cannot.
The, will the funding that you're looking for cover benefits?
No, that's the only part it does not.
So that is,
It's just
so that,
Benefits
So
are
no-
some of your biggest costs.
second, so we can have more discussion, because there hasn't been a second for discussion purposes. So.
Madam Chair, just on the motion and different things, again, I think that this treasurer and accountant's position, this is now expanded into more of an administrative role. And it is really is something different than just getting a treasurer or an accountant here. I'd really like to see a job description for this new position.
That's in the file as well.
I didn't see it.
Michael, I'm currently not able to access the files. They won't open for me. I have to sign in and I don't have a sign in.
Glad to have you here.
That's odd. You shouldn't have to.
More trouble.
So that, again, that's gonna be another item that I'm gonna propose in the open discussion is, due to the multiple issues to utilize Microsoft Decisions moving forward for the board meetings, so that there is no issues like this moving forward. This is, I think, like the 4th time that we've had issues.
Okay, so just for the sake of clarifying where we are with the motion, there has been no second. Does anybody wish to second that motion at this time?
Can I hear the motion again, please?
Robin hit it.
Make a motion to accept option 3 pending outside funding.
If not,
If not, it would come back to the group.
I'll second that.
I do think under discussion, the understanding that benefits won't be covered does need to be discussed.
For the discussion, yeah.
So,
It'll increase no matter what on that end.
If you're gonna look at 25,000.
To Jim's point, there seems to be, for whatever reason, some people can see the documentation and some can't. I know that Mike and Liz are, you know, every day that we put this off, it's one more day I'm stuck with them. I say that with great appreciation for all that you're doing. We'll have a vote, but if the vote fails, I think we need to be able to bring this back for reconsideration. I don't know what the formal.
Madam Chair, this is for next fiscal year, this position?
FY27.
Yeah, and so ultimately, it's all going to be subject to another vote for the annual budget. So it would seem to me like we're gonna be back, we're gonna have another bite at the apple, so to speak, when we, review the budget and vote the budget. So right now, you're just gonna try to get some additional money, and we'll be able to have a clearer idea when the budget is reviewed annually.
What's the cost of the benefits? For a
25,000.
25,000 a year?
So Mike, in the packets that we presented to our boards, have the operations chief position, you have support service, you have
That's the one.
logistics chief. But now it's a support, the position is slightly different, right? So now it's an administrative support services chief, right? So are you now,
That's been the same all along. This is
but it wasn't a chief in this, so you got
Support services.
60K salary, 22K benefits for approximately $82,000
under
compensation package. Is that
which one? I'm sorry.
in,
What
this
do
was the package?
No, what line are you looking at? The support services?
Support service, yeah.
Yeah, that's the same position that we're looking at here.
Okay.
Yeah,
You probably don't want to advertise as the chief for that salary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so I just,
Yes.
so if we're looking at 81,000, or if it's at the chief level, you're adding about 20-ish thousand in salary there. So,
What if,
so the ops chief, you had about.
The operations chief is totally different.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
suggest you not advertise.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so Austin.
Yeah, we just
Maybe
take
call
the
it coordinator or something,
We wouldn't,
you know?
we wouldn't advertise it as a chief, to
Right.
be able to keep it in line with the budget that was been coordinator with the other commission.
Yeah,
Manager,
yeah.
but not chief.
Just name change.
So you still, is that,
Yes.
were you comfortable with?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
I don't, I feel like everyone's in a different page.
well, isn't that,
Yeah.
and, yeah, I mean, for the sake of moving forward, let's vote on this issue. Understanding, that, I'll just offer the context that I think, Mike and Leslie, you have the support of the group in general. But if it, we'll continue to sort of work on this, but let's see how the vote goes, and, is everybody comfortable if we all vote on this?
It is an all.
It is an all vote?
Yeah, future
Okay.
staff and models
Okay,
says both. I'm just
Okay.
looking at the matrix right now.
I've got too many screens open, I lost track of my matrix. All right, we'll roll call vote. Austin, kick us off.
This is for the chief position, right, or whatever.
The
we're calling
support
it.
service.
And this is all subject to additional funding,
Subject to.
But it doesn't cover his
outside
benefits.
but it doesn't cover benefits, which,
And you're gonna vote on it again, the budget.
Yes.
no.
I support it. I would like
I
to
just
see
wanna
a
see
job
the number.
description, so we all agree on what this
Yeah.
person would do. I think it's gonna be hard to recruit without a job description, right? I'm in favor of it, although, yes, but
A job description exists, we just not all of us has had a chance to review it.
in a
And-
title that we all agree on.
Yeah, and I want to just piggyback off my note that it's not that I don't support the job. I think that there's been a lot of discussion. I think it just needs to be looked at one more time. I know, I agree with Heather that every day is just further. But
So I would, yeah, we'll go. Let's
Okay.
finish this first.
So let's just get the vote done.
Yes,
Yes, Robin?
No,
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Melanie?
No.
Chair is a yes. That's not a vote.
so, can I ask another question? So logistically, the 5 towns that are getting assessments, your assessments aren't gonna change. Right? And when you go to town meeting, you're gonna get a lump sum number, right? That's how this is gonna work. Or next year.
We,
It would
based
change a
on,
little bit next year.
based on FY20, based on the budget model that has been presented
Right.
to us, that is still a little in flux because there's still some outstanding costs that Mike and Liz haven't nailed down. So yes, we are aware that we're gonna get an assessment based on the overall cost of the current model.
So once that budget's developed, the district itself will have to adopt the budget.
Yeah.
And then send it to the towns to fund it.
And that will include the additional insurance.
All the indirect costs, all the,
That's,
yes.
that's
all
the
nine
outstanding
yards.
item on this is the
Yeah,
life insurance, the benefit.
Yeah, those are our
Because we
big.
did discuss the option whether to do a 19-hour position.
You can always
Yeah,
recruit
I
for
mean,
whatever
right.
position
If
you
in
want.
the
you have to
end-
find it.
Right. I just think we're not, that's a problem.
For the.
If they
Oh, yeah.
cannot secure the outside funding, we're back to square one,
Dead in the water.
options 1 and 2.
Yep.
Liz, what was the plan on
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 3 no.
All right. I have to excuse myself. I have the auditors in and I'm gonna help Peter here feel more comfortable about municipal finance. This is extraordinary. It's one of the most important things that you can do to keep people safe and healthy and all those things. So keep at it. You have to muddle through, but I will reach out. I will reach out to try to learn more and be of more assistance.
that?
Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Item number 9, the accountant discussion. What curveball you got for us on this one, Mike?
No curveball. It's again, job descriptions in that file. I know a lot of people can't access it, but, and the job description's in there, part-time, just looking to get approval from the board to start this process, so that we have an accountant in place by July 1.
This is, are you proposing a part-time position?
Part-time, yeah.
10 hours, right?
For right now, yeah. Again, we don't know what that workload is gonna be right off the bat. But moving forward, as we grow, that position may move to a full-time accountant position, but we won't know that until we get to that point.
I don't have a problem supporting a part-time position in this, and putting it out there. This is gonna, I'm assuming this is gonna be posted.
The motion?
Yes, that is a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Oh,
I,
I'm sorry. I have to do a roll call. We're gonna start with Peter at this time.
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Robin? Yes. Jen?
Yes, with a question. Does the district have an employee identification number yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
Questions? Adam?
I don't, oh, okay.
Yes.
Melanie?
yes.
Jeremy, yes. Thank you. Item number 10.
Madam Chair, if I may, on item 10, you have negotiations, director, deputy director, and then you're gonna have dispatchers. You know, we had talked about subcommittees, not that long ago, when we just opened up the meeting. You know, this may be a good opportunity to have a subcommittee to do this type of negotiations and then bring something to the full board for consideration.
I agree. So we would change negotiation team selection to negotiation subcommittee selection. Is that appropriate? Do we feel that the same subcommittee should do the negotiations for the director deputy as well as the dispatchers? Or should
I
that be two
it's a,
separate groups?
yeah, I defer to the board. I don't know that matters as much. And
Negotiation is negotiation.
Okay, so do we want to take item 10 and 11 together?
I would agree with it.
Okay, Jeff and Melanie, we had discussed earlier that when we did the vote for the form of governance, that we modified that document so that there would be 2 members from the original 5 communities and 1 member from the new 6 that would make up a negotiations subcommittee. So that was voted in as part of the form of government's vote. So just to kind of, I guess, clarify where we are with that. Is the best way to handle this, I guess, just to accept nominations for the 2 original 5.
Was there, oh, sorry, through the
Of
chair,
course, yeah.
was there, did we ever discuss that prior, I think when the former TA from Hubbardston, who was the chair at the time, was that it was gonna be the chair, the vice chair? If I
Originally, that's
recall,
what it-
okay, that was original, not that we have to hold to that by any means, I'm just,
Let's share the love.
sure, absolutely.
Share that.
Some love I don't want.
And just through the chair, with the subcommittee that you're building. So previously, to the 6 joining in, we previously had the subcommittee made for the dispatchers, and that was the chair, vice chair, as well as myself as part of that subcommittee. So I don't know if you're forming the subcommittee as one committee. I can't be on the same, if you're going to
Right,
allow
you
me on that committee,
can't.
I can't be on the subcommittee for my own contract.
No,
So
yeah.
these committees may have to be separate
Ah, I see
in
where
a
you're going.
sense. If you don't
Okay.
want me as representation at the table and it's just the 3, then so be it when you
So would you
deal with
sit
the
on the
dispatchers,
deputy?
but
So can I jump in on that a
Yeah,
little
sure.
bit? I just think from a negotiation standpoint, I don't bring my chiefs in, for example, when I'm negotiating with my fire and police, because I never want them to be in a position to say, no, you don't get the money. I'm the one who says, no, you don't get the money. With all due respect to you, I think whoever's on the subcommittee would consult with you operationally on any changes or proposals for management rights and day-to-day operations. But I would actually prefer that you not be, for your own sake of leadership.
Yeah.
I just think it's very hard to lead when you have to pick a side at the table. And you sort of work for us.
Yep.
And you're.
You don't want to be the bad guy.
Yeah, I
For
never
the
want to make
people
my
you-
chief the
you're
bad guy in the
managing.
room. Let me be the bad. It's my job to be the witch about money.
be a new
So-
change for me, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't try to, and I'm not saying you wouldn't be.
No,
I just proposed
greatly
what was out there.
included in the discussions.
I agree, not bringing in your chiefs or your directors when you're negotiating is one of the best advantages that you could have, because you're not asking you to tear your loyalties.
Yep. So fine. Just wanted to throw it out there. That's what was the
Yeah.
previous committee that was formed.
I guess my question then, if it was already established that it was the chair and vice chair?
But we had a lot of movement, and that's why.
Okay,
Yeah, so,
okay. All right, so are we okay walking away from that
Yes.
and opening it up to the bigger group?
I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
I would volunteer to be on the committee.
great. A motion to appoint Jim as one of the positions.
I
from
make a
the original
motion,
five.
so moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We need one more from the original 5. Not the chair.
Only if I get a nomination.
I'll nominate Maribel.
Second.
You got a big pencil with a big eraser?
I do.
I like,
Okay, all in favor, for Maribel as the original 5, second member of the negotiation subcommittee.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Right, now we need a nomination for a subcommittee member from the new 6.
Robert?
Since I've been such a big mouth, I open myself up for that.
I'll wait for that nomination.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
All right, all in favor for Robin as the negotiation subcommittee member of the new six?
All right.
Great. Congratulations. Do good work. Old business. Let's see. Anyone have anything to bring forward under old business?
Could I ask a question on the building, just any updates that we can share publicly?
Still with Charlton at the moment.
No, I'm sure that.
Yeah, nothing new to report. We do have initial designs of the dispatch floor, of what that's gonna look like and how many consoles we can fit into the space. That's all we have currently right now. We're still working through this process to get a treasurer in place so we can start talking about bonding.
Yep.
And seeing what that's gonna look like. But I talked to the banking people already, but they don't give me anything until we have a treasurer.
Do we own it?
We don't own it yet, no. We have to bond it. And then under the state 911 development grant we applied for, do we bond an assessment to be paid by the state 911?
All of it?
Yeah, over however many
Yeah.
it's gonna be, yes.
So we
That's
have
my
to
next-
bond it before they actually give.
We need a number to
To
provide.
provide for.
To the state.
Isn't it? It's exhausting.
It's like a school to get
Yeah.
funding.
Under old business. So documentation, obviously, we seen today that there's issues with links and stuff like that.
In volume, there's a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, to kind of consolidate and keep everything together and organized. There is a product that the district already has. We've used it once at a previous board meeting. It's called Microsoft Decisions. Obviously, most of us have laptops here today, but it's a electronic meeting agenda. So as you just scroll down, you have the agenda, has the motions, you can take the votes right there. Everybody has their own little notepad next to each agenda that they can take notes, private notes for each person. All support and documentation is right there during the meeting. So as you're just looking at this agenda, when we're talking about documents, you just click in access. Like I said, we've done printed packets, told not to do printed packets, electronic, but then we have issues with the Dropbox, the SharePoint, the OneDrives, Access. I'd like to just move, if it's okay through this board, to explore utilizing Microsoft Decisions for our next board meeting and give it a trial run with all 11 on board and see how it operates to try to streamline everything. It's very, very easy.
Where is that on my suite? I must have it here somewhere.
You have to add it.
Yeah.
You have to add it?
Mike,
But it's easy. It's easy. No.
It's $20,000.
Mike,
No
you need to
cost
make
to
an
you.
appointment. Everybody come over with their
Yes.
laptop.
We can manage it.
The license.
We can
Again,
manage
there's no,
these kids.
for you guys, it's all free. There's no license. The license falls on the organization that is utilizing the decision. So for
What do you
guys-
gotta send us a link?
Yeah, ultimately, the calendar invite that goes out, once the agenda is produced on the decision side, it sends out a calendar invite in the calendar invite
Yeah.
notes. There's a link there. It's just like when you click on a calendar invite and you go to a Teams or Google meeting
Mhm.
link, it'll be right there. So you click agenda, opens up.
Well, worth a shot, in my
Simple.
opinion.
Sounds simple, Mike.
Trying to streamline.
is there any way that it could just be sent as one PDF all scanned in?
That has the ability to, you have the ability through decisions, through when you log into this, when you click on that link, you can hit download PDF and it'll download everything as PDF for you. If someone prefers paper, that's what they can elect to do. If they prefer the electronic, they can utilize that. And Melanie has her hand up.
Michael, I sent you an email on the side. The issue was that you had updated the documents in there, so the window I had open was no longer valid. So doing it this way for me is fine, as long as you let us know that you've added additional documents. You send another email to let us know. That was the reason that I didn't see the job descriptions and stuff, because they weren't there in the
Didn't
original
scan it.
email you sent.
That's odd, because once you share a folder, no matter what's added to it, you should, that's weird.
If
I've
I
never
had clicked
seen-
on, if I had clicked on that link again, it opened up. But the original, because I had opened it up when
But it
you
goes
first
to-
sent
gotcha.
it and I left it in the window because I was looking at it, it didn't update.
Gotcha.
I
Melanie,
didn't,
gotcha.
I didn't
Like
know
a
you added
press.
to it.
Gotcha. And it
I
creates the
think we'll
meeting
leave
minutes
that
and everything, so.
to get the information out in many different possible ways. as
Trial and error.
possible.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Okay,
Old
Amy,
business yeah.
The update to the assessments for the 11th.
Yes, so again, a lot of what we're doing today, is gonna dictate that as well. We need to try to get these true figures, what health insurance is gonna be, liability, the contracts that are in place now. And what am I missing?
We did just-
Treasurer costs, accounting costs, and all that. I have some base numbers in there, utilize some numbers from what Rutland was providing me, but those are obviously not gonna be true numbers, especially if we change healthcare providers too. I don't know. where
Who
that's
who are
gonna
you
fall.
with now?
Right now, we're with Harvard Pilgrim, but we're dealing with Maya right now, which I think Maya is a Blue Cross Blue
Yeah,
Shield.
And
So,
we did the last 2 weeks, we went to all of the 6 new towns to get staffing number, not staffing numbers, call volume numbers. Like I pulled real calls for service, not just based on overall call volume. So we're configuring, getting, pulling that data out of all the information that we gathered to put it into the Nina staffing system that's used nationwide, so we can figure out exactly how many people we need in the future.
yeah, we may be able to redefine that number down due to Southbridge not.
Yes, they were the large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if they end up coming on board, we'll be back to the large.
And I think Melanie has her hand up as well through the chair.
I really don't. I think I just didn't lower it. Sorry.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm not sure how to get rid of it now. So yeah, I'm okay.
I do have one thing for old business. I think it was the last time we met, we discussed that Southbridge had reached out. Oh no, I forgot I had mascara on. We had discussed that Southbridge had reached out, and had asked us to do different types of question and answers. We didn't really have the exact role that this person was in, so we, all agree that we didn't want to, fuel any type of internal fire that may be going on. So I just kind of wanted to circle back to that so we could give this person an answer.
So we did some digging in regards to that. So the person that is contacting me is, I guess, a counselor at large or counselor someone applying to be a counselor for this year with support of
Candidate.
the candidate. Candidate for counselor,
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
as well as
Stay
a
away.
counselor that is on the current council that is with her, with the chiefs and the units. So that's the group that is asking.
Sounds
Me.
messy. Whatever, provide them public information only is
I
my.
thought they were having issues down there.
Questions and answers session,
Sounds
no,
difficult.
or
No,
I just wanna make sure.
Provided that it's in Southbridge. And
Yep.
leave it at that.
don't attend a meeting like we attended with you guys, or
Not.
Not at the request of a candidate, sir.
no. But
What kind of meeting was that? Was that that you attended for?
all the
Just the
town,
select
all the
board?
select
All
board
the-
meetings,
when
yeah,
they're coming
yeah.
on board.
You could,
That's a
certainly
Yeah.
could respond that you would go back to the town council.
Town
the whole
council, okay,
Yeah.
That you would do it to the public, to the governing body.
okay.
Yeah.
'Cause Mike, you'll walk in and you'll see like a, vote for whoever sign.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are they? They want you to give a spiel on what we're doing?
Well, they
Is that what-
didn't they you already presented.
Yeah, they,
Yeah, we already presented, yeah.
They chose not to because they thought they could.
So
Like,
they're looking to put it on a referendum for the public, and what they want to do is have a question and answer session for the public, which sounds
No.
great, but now it's becoming a political football.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want,
Push it.
And I don't blame
the
them.
trees are
but
pushing to join
they are-
this?
they're Yeah.
The unions are supported.
Okay, but
Chiefs
who
need to
is,
go
who's
to their-
against it?
And
The
the
city,
council-
the city
Not town
council,
council.
Which is like the board of
Town
selectmen.
managers for it.
So while I admire their desire to get this done, it puts this group in the middle of their battle.
So the city council's against it, and then you have a
But the
city
chiefs-
councilor,
And the chiefs want it.
the
The
chiefs
chiefs
want it.
want it, one
But the
candidate
City
wants it,
councilor, one candidate that's running wants it,
and one city
and
council.
he's looking for a little juice
Well,
to boost
one or two.
his
There's,
numbers.
So the ones who got voted down on joining.
Yeah.
Are partnering with some candidates who are running, probably to shift that council, but
Correct.
Yeah.
also to get it out of balance.
We
yeah,
don't
there's,
want it.
there's 9 counselors.
Sounds
They
like
just need to
politics.
switch 3 votes.
They're trying to flip votes and get a new counselor on,
Yeah,
and get it on a referendum.
correct.
But I mean, I would,
Because they're leaving it to the public.
you
They're putting
either
it
go
on
back
there.
to their whole council
It's a ballot
for a
question.
full question answer.
Yeah, because
And that's
that's,
up to the chair, their president of the council.
because if you go to this one council and candidate, it's almost like now you're joining in their efforts. And, you know, ultimately, that's not the position that we want to be in. It's either the current elected body or that's it.
I would suggest that you respond with, we're happy to come back to the full council if the president puts it on an agenda. And that if they want documentation, they have to file a freedom of information request, because the
Mhm.
candidate particularly, and that you have to provide them with public documentation. You have. That's it.
It's for your own.
So they're putting it on for a vote for the public? Now, can
Yeah,
the
it's a ballot
council
question.
override vote?
I think, so from what I heard from
No
the fire
difference in the
chief is,
state overrun.
it's a ballot
nothing,
question.
Right,
but it still has to come back to the council for a vote, so it could still be voted down technically.
right.
Yeah.
So
Which
I
try
don't-
to stay
Listen.
clean.
It's a hard one.
Yeah. So I got your guidance and I know how to move forward with that now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other old business? Open discussion, public comment, public concerns.
Question. So the money for the account, the treasurer, we're seeking state funding. for that work. Will that impact the future funding to offset the assessments when the other towns roll in?
No, it's a separate item. You'll still get that transition award that you get. This is just a separate funding piece within that same grant that you can apply for. There's certain key positions within the department. Once you're expanded, you can apply for.
Okay, thank you.
So it's a transitional funding thing until we come home, basically. And then we take over.
And that's built in.
Yes.
Okay. Executive session, we have 2 items. I'll make the motion just for the sake of keeping it, make a motion for this board to enter into executive session to discuss the employment evaluation and contractual negotiations of the executive director and deputy director pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, and to discuss collective bargaining strategy and negotiations with Mass Cops Local pursuant to MGL Section 30A. I'm sorry, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3. The board will return to open session following the conclusion of both executive sessions. And do we do the subcommittees? Is that what you're asking? Yeah, I think so.
Madam Chair, I mean, could this be like its own meeting at another date and time?
I didn't make the agenda, so I'll defer to Mike on this one.
Through the chair,
Yeah.
we don't have to go into full length in these meetings, Jim. I just want to do ultimately for me, I want to do a strategy for the dispatchers and acquire some dates with the subcommittee. They're ready to start and feel like
Okay, so
they're waiting.
just some
We
dates.
push them off.
The lawyer keeps reaching out.
Yeah, so I just
Because
want
we just formed a subcommittee and this is posted for the full agenda, so I don't know how you can do that.
Right, I totally agree with you. Perhaps we vote to go into executive session and the subcommittee stays and manages that? Or
Could we just pick it, I'm sorry, I might be speaking on turn, could we just pick the dates for the union and then have another meeting, to your point, for everything for strat?
Yes.
I don't know.
If everybody's comfortable with that, I have no objection.
Yes.
Does everybody have availability next week to meet them? I just want to get like a
Yeah, we don't
strategy
need to be
down.
executive session to set dates.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I withdraw the motion to go into executive session.
Okay, and these obviously would be during the day meetings, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's up to you guys.
No, I'm just saying there's no evening. I gotta look at my, this is not an evening day. They're always a good day.
Next week.
It's been a long morning already.
Next week, you're out of town. Okay.
First week in March, I'm open.
I am not.
Second week in March, open.
Keeping in mind, Mike, do you need to be there?
We just wanted to strata, like.
For the
we
dispatcher
have-
thing.
We have
Yeah.
documentation we'd like to share with you guys and.
Percent
I mean, you
archive
could,
after
for
that.
strategy, we could do a virtual if you wanted to make it easier. I mean, I don't want to negotiate the group, with
Right.
the body in virtually, but. I mean,
Right, to set up
just a
the structure.
Strategy,
Yeah.
and a virtual makes it easier for everybody's schedules.
Still has to be posted, right?
It still has to
Yes.
be posted,
Yes.
but
Like a
just for the
Zoom link.
standpoint of convenience of
Zoom link.
scheduling.
Right, with the, like, because you still have to open the meeting in public
Public,
session
and then
and
come
then
back,
go
right,
into
gotcha.
executive.
Yep.
And if there's, you can adjourn from there, if there's not gonna be any,
So we
you know,
wanna
votes
pick
afterwards,
two,
or?
one for the strategy
So-
meeting, one for
And then
the
one for
union.
in-person negotiations. Which, for those you guys don't have to.
So Jamie said you're not available at all next week.
No.
And Mike, you're not available at all the following week,
All I have is Friday,
Which is,
the 6th?
6th.
I can do
I
that.
can do that.
I can do
Friday
it.
morning?
What time?
Nine,
That's
10,
9.
Nine's perfect.
9 is good.
9?
And that's a virtual.
I'll send that out.
And then, are there any dates? So we can get back to the union for you guys to meet with them?
Now, on the 6th, are we just doing the dispatchers for strategy?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That, and, because I just want to
Yep.
know the expectations of the agenda.
And then how about a date to actually meet with them,
With the union?
the union? Well, you guys in the union, not me.
Right.
Thank you. Oh, what is his name? Hold on 1 second, I'll tell you. Yeah.
And then are you guys gonna meet us the same day, or should we pick a third date to talk to you guys about our contract?
I think
that
we
should
should
be
be
a separate
separate.
thing.
Okay.
I think that will, it's a lot in one day.
Yeah, okay.
So we have a board meeting on the 18th. How about the second week of March? Are you able to put some time together to meet with the dispatchers in that week?
Yes.
Okay,
I,
We're meeting with the dispatchers of the
with the dispatchers the second week.
Okay.
So I have jury duty for a couple of weeks.
That's gonna be fun.
That's 2 weeks of March. And it may or may not be called.
2 weeks. Wow.
It's, yeah, US
Wow.
federal. So I, through the 13th. 13th, 20, 13, that's my 2 weeks during.
What was it again?
It starts the 9th and it goes through those 2 weeks, so it doesn't bring me up till the 23rd. If I get called.
Yeah. If you get called, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I'll know on the 9th. if I have any represented by-
So want to set it tentatively,
So,
hoping that you don't get called? Or,
I don't know, I've been called and so I don't know. I'm happy to do that, but
Or
I think
potentially.
everybody knows it.
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's not gonna get posted now, it's just more,
Yeah, we can hold it.
yeah, like a placeholder.
Okay.
Well, the week after it, I was proposing at our board meeting, which is on the 18th of March. To meet-
Which
to
I
meet
may
with-
still have trouble
Yeah,
getting.
right, to meet with myself and Liz. To
Be
do that,
yours.
yeah.
Would that be a smaller agenda? It's just that, going
Yeah,
a
yes.
hefty agenda,
Yes.
from 9 to 11 and then going into
No,
executive,
yes.
just,
So.
I prefer
Yeah.
those like more
Yep.
solo.
If you did jury duty, doesn't usually, you don't go all that late.
Oh, we.
I mean, I know there's a morning meeting, but if we could, if
we
you could
didn't
do
do
virtual for
Yeah.
theirs, again, for yours, I don't mind doing virtual.
Fire.
Popping in the hybrid,
Yeah.
again, the body, I don't want to do that way, but I could
In May,
maybe
you don't
set
have
something for them,
Your next time.
maybe something at like, 3:30, if that's not too late for everybody else,
On the
because I'm
18th?
on the 18th, because I'm thinking jury duty, you're usually out by three,
Yeah,
yeah, those judges don't work that late.
Does that work for everybody on the 18th? Virtually?
Yeah, I'll make it work.
I appreciate that. I just-
I'm more of a, you know,
So the 18th, what are we gonna do?
18th.
Well, you guys can do in person, and I can just remote in.
oh no, at that, by 3:30, then I'll have to be virtually.
So, 18th will be the deputy director.
Deputy and director.
And that's at 3:30.
That's at
And if
3:30.
it's something, you know, if I-
And what are we gonna do that, I mean, I don't mind meeting in person or.
Yeah, we can have.
I mean, I
meet
can
in my
too.
office. Do you want to meet at my office? Or we can come to you, actually.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, come to you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we'll come to your office and we'll provide virtual for them.
Well, who says I'm not gonna come?
You said you had to be virtual.
Pick you up along the way.
You can pick me up.
That's true.
There you go.
Make sure you're in the front.
Yeah, there we go.
All right,
that's for you guys.
that's for us. What about the dispatchers? The 9th through the,
Did he send you dates?
Now they wanna do some locations.
So do you want to get dates from them first?
I figured we just put it out and make them.
No.
see.
Oh, okay.
No.
I feel like if we give too many options, we're never gonna, this is the date, and that's,
Okay.
in my
So the
opinion.
18th is gonna be in my office, right?
18th to your office, yes.
And then we have the 6th is the,
Is the strategy for the dispatchers. That's virtual.
So this is gonna be tentative, this is gonna be tentative pending me not getting called. So you don't give that date to them though.
Well, they can plan for it.
Okay.
just tell them subject to change.
Okay.
That's great.
At least everybody has it penciled in. Which,
So what's the, we need one more date.
one more date. Sorry.
What's that next?
Which date? 9, 10, 11?
18th.
18th
Monday,
of
Tuesday,
March? We're gonna start
Could we do the 11th?
more than once a month?
It's a Wednesday, the
We start
11th.
getting down.
What, which one's that one for? I'm sorry?
Dispatchers.
To meet with the dispatch?
Yeah.
Yep.
11th is good for her.
And is that in
Well, that's
Rutland?
subject to.
Subject to jury duty.
I mean, I think that would be,
Have we adjourned?
Yeah.
because it would mean with the actual employees or the,
Yeah, the union.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the 11th, Rutland.
Yeah, Wednesday, the 11th.
I'll know, but I won't know until the 9th, so we're gonna have to back out late on them.
So March 18th.
They did it to us, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can always post it and you can always
Where's
do
it
a
at?
cancel,
Right.
if we needed to
Okay.
So
cancel.
Wednesday, 11th, want to do, do you guys want to use my office?
Yeah, it's fine.
So they don't have, yeah.
9 a.m.?
You have like a boardroom?
Yeah, we have the table
we
in my
could just
office.
leave
Yeah,
that.
we'll just vacate the office.
Okay.
Is that 9, 10?
If that doesn't work and you need a.
Oh, the
different
annex.
space, you can use the annex.
True.
Okay.
Yeah,
Come hang out with me.
Yeah.
So 9 AM?
in Rutland, 9 a.m.
I love that walk.
That's on the 18th?
No,
The 11th.
that's for the subcommittee.
Oh,
Yeah. all these.
Subcommittee,
something I didn't volunteer for?
Exactly.
18th is a meeting.
Yeah, 18th is the next board meeting.
And where's that?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Next board meeting, where would we like it to be hosted?
Wednesday, the 18th for the regular board meeting.
Yep.
Anybody wanna host?
So again, we're back. Where do you want the next board meeting hosted?
On the 18th?
It was Rutland, now Hubbardston. Where do we want the next one?
Who's up?
I can, I mean, okay, is
Anybody.
there, anybody?
Okay.
Okay, we'll go to Oakland.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I like going down country.
Hey, hey.
What time is that, Mike? Is that 9?
It should be 9. That's what, yeah, that's what you guys agreed on. So it is 9 o'clock.
9, okay. Okay.
And then
Every third Wednesday. of the month.
It's not that big, so you
And then
can't
3:30.
zoom it out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
So where is that? What would the address be? Is that the
Two
fire
Cold-
station?
No, 2 Coldbrook Road, right across from the library.
you'll put that in the meeting and.
Yep.
I'll
I'll put everything.
And maybe I'll be a good host and have something to drink and eat.
Sorry.
No,
Again.
no coffee donuts,
Just kidding.
unless you have plain bagels in there.
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
The moved.
Second.
All in favor?
All of them, sorry, I went far
I
away.
brought you. I
Thank
brought you back.
you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Have a great rest of your day,
You were
everybody.
gone there.
I did.